Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, that's what you get to experience in today's video, so stay tuned. Let's get into the intro. Okay, one last pull. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I'm in my Model Y Performance, or what people like to call it, the MYP. And I love this thing so far. I almost have 500 miles on it. The last video I did, I took some people for a ride in it, just kind of testing it out. It's my first 100 miles just in general in a Tesla. I've been in some Teslas only for like, you know, a mile or two, but I've never actually been able to have my own and just kind of experience it, just kind of mess around with it, pulling off to the side of the road, going through all the stuff on the screen. Because I've seen videos out there where people come in here and they like to show you all this stuff that you can do, and I'm like, you don't really know until you actually mess around with it and see how it is. And it does so much stuff, but I'll be real, I don't really go into these settings much. Once you set what you need to, you don't really mess around with it too much. But overall, I really enjoy the vehicle. The reason why I was kind of making this video was to basically show the mods that I did to it. And as I started this video, we got stuck in the worst like traffic ever. School just got out. The place I was gonna film at is just packed with kids, so we're not gonna be able to film over there. So I'm gonna have to find a spot so we can pull over. All right, so we got the DSLR camera. Let's step outside the vehicle so I can show you how the PPF wrap looks and the ceramic coating. I'll tell you right now, I did not park in the best location so you guys can see how this looks. Let me grab my phone really quick. I had to make sure to grab my phone really quick because then the car will stay on. But I have the AC running, so as soon as I get in, I'm not gonna be sweating my ass off, which is super nice. You can keep the AC on in this car compared to all my other cars. You gotta leave the keys in there or the key fob or something to walk away, and you're always worried about someone stealing your car. But not with this, it already locked, so we're good. So here we go, let's show you the car. Like I said, I should have parked a little bit more out in the sun, and obviously I drove it today on the freeway and getting here, so there's a bunch of bugs on the front. But it's nice, the fact that we got PPF wrap and ceramic coating on it. It is so glossy now. This thing is absolutely amazing. We also got mud guards on it. I think I had that before I hit 100 miles on this vehicle. I also changed some stuff in the back for the lighting on this vehicle. So if I pop this up, it's gonna be hard to see during the day, but here is an aftermarket light right there. And this thing is bright. This thing lights up everything down here. Let me flip that around because I had my address on it. So back here, one of the modifications I did was I blacked out the emblem. I did this on the front as well if you didn't see that. But let me step away from the vehicle so you guys can see the window tint. So if you guys are trying to get an idea of what you guys want to do, this is the Model Y Performance. The back windows are already dyed, but they're not tinted, so it's not going to protect you from UV rays or anything like that. I did 15% all in the back and the rear as well. And then the fronts, we did 15. So those should all equal up to about the same tint, but I will say, the back looks like it is slightly lighter, and I did talk to the company that was doing it and they said that matched up pretty good, but realistically I feel like the front is ever so slightly darker than the back. I should have went with 55% or 60 in the back. The front window is also tinted 70%. You would never know it whatsoever because the white seats, you can straight see through the car. I mean, there's no difference from if it was tinted or not. You see all those cameras up there as well, and this is one thing I want to talk to you guys about with lending your car to a shop and if they mess it up or not, because they broke a plastic clip on my car when I took it to the shop, and I'm not very happy about it. So here is that front logo. It's all blacked out as well. And here's a better look at the PPF. So they didn't wrap around the corners, if you guys can see that. See that line that's going all the way down, especially the corner right there? I wasn't too happy about that either, but that's kind of my fault that I didn't talk about if they do that or not. All they did was wrap the hood and they did the corner. So this wraps inside the hood and everything like that. That's all they did. Everything else is not wrapped together. And I asked if they did the front all in one piece, and they don't, because I can see a PPF line right here, if you guys can see that. So this is definitely not one piece. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that because they told me it was wrapped all in one big old piece, because that's why I chose their shop compared to other shops. In the back here, I did get PPF wrap as well. You guys can't even probably see that line in the picture, but there's a faint line right here very hard to see through looking at my camera, but we did that as well. But most of the upgrades I did to this car are on the inside. So let's go show you guys the inside because it looks fantastic now. One of the biggest upgrades I did was the door cards, and we did the dash. So you could check this out. It's real carbon fiber. This is not a piece or vinyl that gets put on top. This was the whole entire piece that I replaced. So I have my original white pieces at the house. Then you got this nice fabric right there. But I love carbon fiber, and that just stands out so good. Then we come over to the dash. This is also not a vinyl wrap or a piece that goes on top of your factory piece. This thing is dope looking. It looks like a rainbow effect when you're kind of looking at it, depending on how the sun hits it. It does give a little bit of reflection on the very top of your window though. I've seen it up here, so I might think about putting a banner, like a 3 or 4 inch banner right here, because this definitely with street lights definitely reflects a lot. Then we also did these carbon fiber as well. And then I also did 3D mats. Those things are super nice. Here's how this side looks over here. I love how this looks, and check this out. Look behind the screen. If you guys can see that, I'm trying to get a better angle right back there. You see behind the screen, that's carbon fiber as well. Just a little touches, you know. Then we did the center console as well. This is from the Hills. Oh, and the dash is from RPM, Tesla, and then the door cards as well are from RPM. And then this is from the Hills, so we did this. It just sticks on top, but this is not vinyl either. This is real carbon fiber. And then you have the key card placement right here. I was gonna get rid of this, but I felt like just in case I had an issue with like my phone not working or dying, I think I wanna have that working. I didn't know if it was gonna work if it was full carbon fiber, so you really can't see it anyway once you cover that, so it's not a big deal. And then this is a cover as well. This was actually black, if you guys can see under there. So I just have this on here because I like to eat in my car, and I'll put some of my food here so some of my food gets stained on here. That's not that big a deal. These are like 20 or 30 bucks. I'll just replace it at the end of the day. Other than that, I do have the yoke steering wheel coming for this. I custom ordered it. I think it was like 500 bucks plus if you wanted the carbon fiber pieces right here, and then I got the carbon fiber coming on here. I believe it came out to like $700. I'm excited for that, but it's very weird because I drive like this. I know it's probably douchey, it sounds douchey, but I'm just so comfortable sitting like this. Or I put my hand down here and then I put my elbow right resting on that. So with the yoke, I'm assuming I can lower it because it's gonna be more of like straight down and like this. I'm hoping that I can just have it like this and just rest my hand completely on my leg. So I'm hoping for that. So coming up here, 75% gives me 223 miles. But we're gonna go up to 85%. Let's see how that does. We're right next to a charging station. So let's go head over there really quick. I think my battery has preconditioned or been preconditioning, hopefully. I don't know if there's a way to go into the settings and see if it's actually fully ready. Well, would you look at that? It's just us. The other Tesla just left. So we're gonna be the only people here. Sweet. I'm gonna show you exactly how simple this is. And you wanna get as close as you can to these bumps, by the way. I watched a bunch of videos on that. So literally go until your tires hit it. If you have a bike ride, you gotta be careful though, because you might come in contact. Just come over here, pull this off, tap the little button right here, and you're good to go. It's gonna show blue and then it will show green. You don't even have to stand out here if you don't want. I'm just kind of showing the process. I heard my car click. You can come back in here and you should be able to see it charging. So there we go, 6 minutes remaining. I need to see what my actual charge is going to though. So 6 minutes remaining to go to 82%. So if I want to go to 85%, it's going to take a little bit longer to go anything past 80%. It's kind of like your cell phone. It will get up to like 0 to 50% super quick, and then after 50% it's a little slower. So anyway, that's 8 minutes. We're only charging at 70 kilowatts right now, so I was hoping to get like 250, but realistically we're so high in a battery charge, I shouldn't really think it's going to charge that fast. It's only going to be that fast if you're probably like a lot lower in percentage. So anyway, we're not going to be here very long, just enough to get a charge so I can cruise around, do some pulls for you with my GoPro that I have sitting up here, so you guys get an idea of how I have this set up. All right, so we're almost done charging. I have it charging to 85%, and you guys can see we're in Fresno at the Riverside Drive location, if that will focus. And our average price is 0.37 cents. And our session right now is probably gonna be about $3 to get almost 8 kilowatts. Not too bad. All right, so we're switching back to the GoPro. We're leaving our session. I don't think it shows us now. Oh, okay, so $2.96, exactly what I said. We were only at like 75% when we got here and we went to 85%. So 10% was like $3. Supercharging is gonna cost the most though. So keep that in mind. If you have a home charger, it'd be a lot better. Now, one thing I was wondering is when people leave superchargers, is it kind of like the gas pump? Can you accidentally forget to leave it in there? But I actually started thinking about it more, and I'm like, I bet you anything there's software limited. So if the car is charging, there's no way it will allow you to put it in park at all. So I'm pretty sure it does something like that. I haven't really looked up that information, but it was just something that crossed my mind. I'm like, can you take off with the thing? But I was like, I'm pretty sure you can't. Now, driving a Tesla, obviously the performance one at that, nice and smooth. If you guys are used to e-bikes and stuff like that, especially powerful ones like a Sur-Ron, you got a 72 volt system on it, and it's tuned by a legit company like Greenline Engineering or something like that, or E-Moto Bros. That's how this car feels. You have power when you want it and power when you don't want it. So when I'm using like 10 or 20% of the power, it feels like it's barely wanting to move. It feels like a normal car. And then when you really give it power, like it will really take off. I love that. Like, I'm used to boosted cars that have turbos on them, where it takes a while for the turbo to start coming up in the power. So my RPM and power band is like way up there in the 8,000 RPM range. Whereas this thing, it's a total opposite. All your power comes on right from the start. So you get, what is this thing, like almost 500 horsepower, like 460 roughly. You get it all at the jump, but then you start losing power as you go down. So here, real quick, I'll show you. Woo! There you go. Just to get an idea of how fast it is. It definitely gives you like a weird feeling in your stomach when you first are like getting used to the vehicle, or if you're used to fast cars in general, you're never gonna get that. But every single time you take someone for a ride in this car, they are gonna trip out. Every single person told me it feels like a roller coaster, and I even asked them, I was like, what does it feel like? Does it feel like a roller coaster? And like, that's probably exactly the best way you can explain it. It's like you got butterflies in your stomach. So anytime you're on the top of that roller coaster and you're about to go down that big old drop, that's how it feels to be in a performance Tesla. And this is not even the fastest one out there. This is actually the slowest car out of the four that they have. So the Model X is faster, the Model S is faster, and then if you get the performance Model 3, which looks similar to that one over there if you guys can see it, that one is 3.1 seconds and this one's 3.5 seconds. But I didn't get the slowest car in the family of the Model Ys. I got the fastest Model Y that you can get. And I'm very happy with it. Now, would I have liked to go with the dual motor, extra range, you know, like, yeah, maybe, but I still like performance. Now, that's where my other problem comes in, is the fact that if you have a heavy foot and you like to drive fast, every light you're kind of giving it gas, or maybe every so often around town you just like to floor it real quick because you like that adrenaline rush, these probably aren't going to be the best cars to get, because I've noticed when I plug in the GPS and I said, okay, I want to go to McDonald's real quick, and it's only 10 minutes away from my house, it says I'm going to get there and lose 2%. And all of a sudden, I lose 4. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm driving the best I can, but then I'm not really trying to pay attention to my throttle. I feel like I take off faster than most people on the road do. So this car hasn't been the best on range for me. Even when I turn the AC off and I drive, I've done this twice. I drove from my house to work, and I've been, you know, just trying to get the best range possible. It says I'll get there and lose 2% or 3%. I'll lose at least 1 more percent than it recommends that I was supposed to lose. And I'm like, what the heck? I tried my hardest, you know what I mean? So it's little stuff like that where I'm like, man. Now, I have had yet to take it out of town and go on a trip, so I'm really planning on doing that soon so we can really see how it is like in the real world. I've heard of people saying that this is like legit when it tells you you're gonna reach this destination at 70%. It's pretty accurate. So I'm really curious to do a day trip one day. Maybe I'll take you guys along with me if you guys want to see that. And I want to go to like Lemoore, where I grew up and stuff, and just kind of go over there and see if where I, you know, was raised and stuff, that building's like still up and whatnot. So we're gonna have to definitely do that. But I'm trying to get out of this traffic so I can show you guys some more pulls on this vehicle, because it is definitely fast. But I mean, you really can't go that fast around town if we're being real. Now, I have a car, I have a Ford Fiesta ST, and it has a bigger turbo on it. It's on E85. And what I have noticed from this car to that one is, obviously this one's way more comfortable. I know a lot of people say the performance model is not that comfortable. I love this thing. It's honestly, yeah, it's not like a Porsche or a Benz or something that comfortable, but it definitely feels good on the road compared to if you're used to like modifying suspension on a car or having a lowered car in general, or a lighter car, because lighter cars normally are a little bit more rougher on the road. Heavier cars have better suspension on them and they mostly kind of float over the road. This one's not bad at all. I am not complaining at all about the suspension. But if I did want to get a little bit more performance and, you know, better, like, I don't know, comfortability out of it, which I don't care, I could lower the tire size down to 20s or 19s and get a fatter tire on there, because these tires, if you saw them, they're like that small. They are rubber bands and they are stretched so far in, it's ridiculous. Yep, still not able to get over, so we're just going to continue on this way. One thing I will mention though is one pedal driving. That's something I heard on many YouTube videos and I was like, that sounds weird. And I hated regen right off the bat. So the first week I had this thing, I was like, man, like getting used to regen is weird as hell. Once you get used to it, it's a game changer. The fact that like I never hit the brakes. The only time I ever hit the brakes is if I'm like the light turns real quick. So half the time I'll go through it if I have enough time, or I'll use the brakes to stop because the regen is not going to stop that fast. But the regen is like the highest level you can think of one of your electric bikes. It works really good, but you just have to have enough time to kind of plan it out. But the fact that I never use the brakes, I seriously 98% of the time do not use the brakes at all. And that's cool because the brake pads and the residue that gets on your wheels and stuff, and then you got to clean them, like the brake dust, I don't have to deal with that. Like maybe a little bit from them rubbing every so often, like while you're riding or driving around. But for the most part, like you don't have to do much cleanups on your rims, which is super nice. Like right now, I am not using the brake at all. I'm barely holding the gas pedal enough, so regen's still working, but it's not super aggressive, so I can slowly, you know, come up to a stop. If you fully let off of the gas, then definitely it is going to stop so fast that you're going to be cars back there, or you're going to have to let off the gas pedal like almost on the last second, and then you'll see it like creep to a stop. But or you can you know use autopilot if you want. But I haven't had great experience with autopilot, and the reason why is because I'm on 11.1 and there's new software up there for the hardware for cameras, and I haven't received that yet. So my full autopilot that I have a subscription to, I'm kind of mad about it, to be honest. I got 30 days to try it out, and I can't use autopilot, like full autopilot anyway, because I don't have the update for this car. So it's kind of frustrating. So the only thing this car will do, it will switch lanes and just drive straight. That's all I can get it to do. It will not like get off the freeway for me. Like I tried it and it just does not recognize anything. So it's a little frustrating on that. We really got to get a stoplight so you guys can definitely see the power of this thing. So we can hit it right here. Dang. Woo, man. Yeah, you were definitely moving in this thing. It is so nice. I love it. Like the power is great and everything, but what I want to say is, going back to my Ford Fiesta that I have that has a bigger turbo on it, is that from 80 to 120 or 130, my Fiesta, the little tiny car that you wouldn't think is very fast, is actually faster than this thing. Now this thing definitely still takes off. It doesn't feel as fast because you're in a nice kind of luxury car, you know, it's more comfortable. And the other car's louder, so it makes it sound like it's more crazy. But, oh, here we go, here we go. Here's a good light to try it. 1, 2, 3, go. There we go. That's a performance right there. My phone's coming on every single time because it's like sliding back and forth. This thing, 0 to 80, is ridiculously fast for what it is, especially on any road. You can line up to anybody that thinks they have a super fast car. Even someone that has a 1,000 horsepower car that takes it on a public road, they're not going to be able, unless they heat up their tires and get it prepped and everything like that, they are not going to be able to take off down the street as well as this thing will. Now, I'm pretty sure some people are going to be out there and say, yeah, you can, yeah, you can. And in every situation, you're never going to run into the perfect scenario with someone that's going to be prepped for their car to take off. This thing, you line up to anybody, it's just ready to go. There's no prep, there's no launch control. I just hit the gas and I go. It's going to be consistent every single time, which is super cool. And I'm not even a Tesla fanboy. Honestly, I've had turbocharged cars, stuff that has exhaust going straight down the bottom, you know, like fire coming out the car. I love all that kind of stuff. But just driving this thing in general, like someone pulls up next to me, I'm like, good luck, buddy, good luck. Unless you got an all-wheel drive car and you're pushing a lot of power and you can hook up, your tires are wide enough, they're sticky enough, then hey, maybe we got a race on our hands. But for the most part, yeah, no one's really gonna keep up with these cars. So that's the cool thing about them. And I'll try to do a quick pull right here after all this traffic goes, if no one runs the red light, because a lot of people love to run turn signal red lights around here in Fresno. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, I think the other car thought I thought they were trying to race, but I didn't. But they're probably looking at me like, oh, this guy thought we were trying to race because they jumped the light. Oh man, but this car's great. I love it. You know, I am not second guessing my purchase. The only biggest complaint I have about this is, so in your gas vehicle, you can, you know, just put gas in it, like 20 gallons, whatever you need to put, 10 gallons, and it can sit there for a month, maybe sit there for 2 months. Now, obviously gas goes bad if it sits there for like probably more than half a year, maybe a year. I mean, it's still probably gonna run, but you probably don't wanna like use it too heavily, you know what I mean? Because the gas does like lose its quality over some time. But with this one, with all the computers and electronics on this vehicle, sadly, even if you do have everything turned off, like you don't have the cabin control system on here, you don't have this, don't have that, I still wake up, I charge it to like 85% most of the time, and when I'm leaving for work at like 3 p.m., and I'll get done charging at like 3 a.m., I'll pull it off the charger, I'll lose about 2 to 3%, and it's crazy. So if your car was to sit there, even without the Tesla cameras on, sensory mode, all that, you're still gonna have to charge this thing almost, I would say, every like 2 or 3 weeks minimum, because you're gonna be losing battery percent every single night. So that's gonna cost you some money in the long run. That's the only biggest con I notice compared to my gas cars, because there's weeks that I go riding my e-bikes back and forth to work all the time, like every single day, and my car just sits there. And then when I get back in my car, cool, it's on a full tank. Now this thing isn't. I'm gonna look at it and be like, oh, what the hell? It was charged at 90%. Now 3 weeks later, it's like 70%, or you know, somewhere around there. Right? That's not being realistic, but you know what I mean. It doesn't mean you still can't get around or anything like that, but if you let it sit for a very long period of time, you're gonna have to keep charging it, and that costs money, even if you have a home charger and you're saving money there. So something I don't know a lot of people mentioning on their YouTube videos, so I just wanted to mention it to you guys. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was take this thing on the freeway, and I wanted to show you guys how it pulls at a higher speed, like from 80 to 100 or 60 to 100. Just to give you an idea that it still has power after 60 miles an hour. It's just not as crazy powerful as it is 0 to 60. But it definitely takes off pretty good. Now there's a lot of traffic today. I feel like I'm in LA right now. I know a lot of people are gonna say like, that ain't LA. It's not even close to LA. But yeah, it's pretty bad right now. All right, so right now, like you see, there's so much traffic out here, but from 69 miles an hour and you hit it, it goes pretty quick. We're already catching up to that truck that was probably like 5-6 cars ahead of us. Like, it's that easy to pick up or get in between traffic. It's crazy. Ooh, this guy is like way over the line. Buddy, you're gonna get a ticket. There's a cop right up there. If you guys can't see, you're still over the line, buddy. What are you doing? Here we go. Woo! All right, here's the car. We're still moving. We're still moving. Almost 100 miles an hour. Gotta love it. Got to love it. And then see, so right now, let's get up to 70, and I'll do a quick pull for you guys real quick. So 70, boom. Still gets up there in speed. It's not bad. It's not that crazy powerful up there, but it's still definitely better than probably 90% of these cars out here when you're actually rolling. And then we have autopilot, of course. Oh crap, I didn't mean to turn. My bad, my bad. Hit the wrong button there. I'm new. I'm still a newbie to this. I only have like 400, almost 500 miles on this thing. So there we go. We got the rainbow road. It definitely does everything for you. My max speed that I have it set to is 72, but it's only doing about 62 right now. And I think it's going off of traffic because we're going so faster than, I don't know. But it's kind of just chilling right now. Let's see if it takes this corner. Let's see if it does. There we go. Okay. It's still whirring. It's still taking it. All right. The speed limit drops somewhere around here, so it should brake, hopefully. Unless it's just not going to. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay. Okay, you don't have to slow down that bad. There's people behind me. It likes to brake, like phantom brake really hard, especially during intersections. So I love this for going on the freeway, but I don't think I'll ever use autopilot unless I have the full self-driving with the new update on the new cameras to test it out again. Because in town, not great whatsoever. Not on hardware 4 without an update. So anyways, let me switch over to my DSLR camera right now, and I'll get back to you guys and we'll do the outro. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is pretty much the Tesla video that I wanted to make. I know it was kind of all over the place, but I kind of just wanted to show you guys some of the mods I've been doing to this vehicle as I've been owning it. I've done a little bit of other things, but it's not really worth mentioning. Like, I'm going to get a bigger mirror for this thing, like a Broadway mirror that I had, those extra wide ones that you can see out the side of the windows. I love those things. This mirror on here is very tiny. I also did some stuff in like the center console area where you put like your belongings, where the carbon fiber piece is. Actually, I'll show you that real quick. So since I added this on here, it's a little hard to move it back and forth. Look, we got our little cards right there. So this is a little shelf that I added in on here. And once you take that out, you can obviously see all the way down there. But this just basically fits in this little slot, slides all the way back. You don't see it, or you can pull it out like that. I also have another hidden cubby right here where I keep some stuff at. And then I just love this thing. But here's what I don't like is now that I put that carbon fiber piece on here, this doesn't want to slide. Check that out. Come on, slide. Now it wants to slide. So that's the only downside to adding that little carbon fiber piece on there, but it looks clean though. The only other thing I was going to tell you guys was when I did take my car in for the PPF wrap and they did my window tint and everything like that, they broke one of my clips, and honestly, like, it's not like I can prove it because they put it in service mode. I can't check the cameras, and even if I could check the camera, it's not going to show them breaking a clip. But basically, where those 3 cameras are pointed out, which I mentioned earlier, they broke one of the side clips, and it's perfectly fine. It's staying in there, but I don't know. You guys be the judge, because a lot of people said it was window tint. I didn't think it was window tint. I thought it was a plastic clip. It even looks like the plastic is broken. So if you're a Tesla person out there, give me your guys' feedback. Leave a comment. Let me know. I'll just throw the pictures, like I said, on the screen, and you guys can just take a stab at it. But what I do want to say is just don't trust your car being at any shop, because when I did take it back to them and confronted them about it, they said it was window tint. They took it out and I said, yeah, can I see the window tint? Because I just want to confirm that it's not a plastic clip and it's window tint. Oh, it's already gone. We already threw it in the trash. We vacuumed it up. And I'm like, well, now I can't prove, and now it makes me more suspicious of that shop that did the work for this car, that they're just kind of being shady and they didn't want to fix that piece. Because I don't even know what you would do to replace the hardware for stuff. I don't even know if you can get replacements of that yet because it's so brand new. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one while this other Tesla passes by me right now. So many Teslas in this area in Fresno, but thank you guys for sticking around for this video. I know it's weird and interesting. I talk about a lot of e-bike stuff because if you guys are new to the channel and just kind of tuning in to see what my Model Y looks like and my thoughts on it, going from a vehicle or e-bikes to this, is because I do e-bike content and electric skateboard content. And if you guys already know that, then you guys know how I feel about electric vehicles in general. But anyways, you guys are the true MVPs of the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's probably going to be an e-bike video, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Peace.